Hello and welcome back. Today we've got another £500 worth of £2 coins we're hunting through, looking for commemoratives, ones with more than face value. But ideally we've got a whole range that we still need to add to the book. 3 Commonwealth Games, still to find, the hardest ones to find in circulation. 3 Olympic Games, £2 coins as well, plus the Mary Rose, all very tricksy ones. World War I Navy Centenary with the flag error, as opposed to this one which doesn't have the flag error. And of course the 2021 Britannia, which may or may not be in circulation. So it has been minted for circulation, but I don't think anyone has seen any yet, so they're all probably sat at the Royal Mint long store waiting to get put into our change. So let's get into this bag and see what we find. Right, into the first bag. What are we looking for? Well, that's technologies. We don't particularly want technologies, although there are some years they are lower minted than other years, just not low enough that I think that they are worth keeping. But anything else commemorative, which we're not getting in the first bag, case of the diddlies on that one unfortunately. But we've got plenty of bags to whiz through, and I'm sure we'll come up with some wonderful treasures. Although not in that bag either. Well, I must admit, I've been mentioning recently that I'm still waiting on lots of things to come from the Royal Mint. There seems to be long delays on orders, even orders placed last year, but things have started slowly trickling in. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff to go collect over the weekend. My next opportunity to get down there. Oh, we've got our first commemorative. It's Guy Fawkes, so very, very common coin. You'll see plenty of them out in your change. But I did get one bit of kind of sucky news. So the Memorial Sovereign is the first sovereign I've ever bought brand new. In fact, the first sovereign I've ever paid for. Before we get into that though, this is Shakespeare's Histories. Fairly nice coin. A smidge over face value, but we will check the edge inscription as it's a 2016. It's the hollow crown, so that's all fine. Only because 2016 seems to be a bad year for edge inscriptions on the £2 coin, the wrong one's being put on. There's another Jodie Clark 5th portrait. It is World War I Army Centenary. You know there's no rotation error. Check the edge inscription for King and Country. That's all fine and as it should be. So I'm still waiting on that, and I don't think that one's been dispatched yet either, which is a bit frustrating because at work and lots of my friends who've ordered it have already had theirs, so I'm still waiting on that. But because what am I doing? Well, this guy, not Guy Fawkes, Charles Darwin. My mind's thinking about the story I'm telling rather than the coins I've got in front of my hands. Again, fairly common, a smidge over face value nowadays though. It's a recent upgrade to the above face value bottom row. This will be something as well. Another Army Centenary, King and Country. Nothing more to be had there. So, someone pointed out that the Platinum Jubilee Sovereign was back in stock on the Royal Mint's back in stock website, and then persuaded me how cool would it be to have the two 2022 years, 2022 sovereigns with both sovereigns on them, so Queen and King Charles. There we've got Florence Nightingale, very common coin, and so I decided, you know what, why not treat myself? So I ordered that one too. And then over a month later, I had an email from the Royal Mint to say, we're really sorry, we don't have the Platinum Jubilee Sovereign, you won't be getting that. Which I think kind of sucks. Abolition of the slave trade there, so always check this one. You can see it's got a smooth finish on the inner part of the coin. If you find one with a smooth finish, as in the initials DG to the bottom right of the 7, that's DG for David Gentleman. That's an NIFC variant of the coin which didn't go into circulation. So yeah, a bit frustrated that I was very excited to get these 2 coins. In fact, the excitement of having these 2 coins was overshadowing however long I'd had to wait for them to arrive, but it seems a bit frustrating. Oh, got a couple of things there. Charles Dickens there, another Charles, but not a Charles we've had already, and another Army Centenary. No rotation error, no edge inscription error. Again, that's fine as it should be. But yeah, it seems frustrating that a company as big as the Royal Mint can have things on their website in stock and then turns out they're not. They oversell the stock, which is more than a little frustrating. Abolition of the slave trade again there. Oh, also worth mentioning, you can see this has got the Queen's third portrait by Raphael Macluf. It's the only year this one, the £2 coin, the bimetallic £2 coin, has this portrait, because it changed in 1998. But there were still tons of those 1997 third portraits minted, so not rare and or valuable, unfortunately. We've got the Rugby World Cup there. Very common coin. But anyway, it's slightly frustrating because it's the second time I've tried to buy something that's come back into stock on the back in stock page that has then quite a considerable amount of time afterwards I've been told I'm not getting. So it makes me wonder what's the point of even trying sometimes with this kind of stuff. Especially the stuff that you get very excited for it to arrive. It was my first sort of foray into the Sovereign, and I've sort of been burnt by it, so I don't know if that's going to affect my temptation in the future. We've got the VE Day anniversary there. Lovely coin, but the most common one, the most common commemorative you'll find out in circulation. Oh, before we flip that, I don't know if you saw a peek. That'll be something as well. There's another Shakespeare Histories Hollow Crown. So again, no rare and exciting error on that one. Steam locomotive or Trevithick steam locomotive. Fairly common coin, not too exciting. But I'd be interested to know if anyone else has bought anything from the back in stock website. I'm not quite sure what qualifies to go on the back in stock site, because it does seem that there's a lot of new stock. It doesn't seem to have sold out at any point on there, along with the odd occasion something very exciting. And the 2 times that something very exciting that I wanted to get have appeared on that website, or that web page, part of the Royal Mint website. I haven't got it, so I don't know whether I've just been too late and there's been other people quicker off the mark than me, but frustrating. Especially, oh, there we go. Brunel's portrait, one of the 2 Brunel £2 coins in circulation, both very common coins though. Yeah, the first time it was something that was going to plug a hole in the gap of my collection, something I missed on release date because of other things that I was trying to book that day as well. So rather upset that I've been burnt twice on that page, but there we go. I guess it would have been easier to. Oh, there we go. Shakespeare Tragedies. Right, check the edge inscription on this. Piece of work is a man. That's one we have found an edge inscription error on before, only the once though. But it's our second Shakespeare, which is very nice. It would have been easier to handle if I'd placed my order, then the next day I had an email saying we're really sorry we oversold, whatever. But the fact that it took over a month made me think, ooh, I think I'm getting this. I think I have got it. I don't think I'm going to be burnt the second time, but there we go. Mini rant over. It has mercifully been a bit of a quiet time in terms of releases recently, in terms of stuff that I like to buy. I know there have been some other things that aren't collections which I subscribe to, but I'm sure that will all change, and they'll kick into overdrive, and there'll be whatever time we have gained now not having to buy things I will lose later in the year when we have a slew of things. Was it November last year, or no, October last year, there was a release every week. There wasn't even 7 days between releases at some point, so that was a rather expensive month, but it does mean we have to add a whole bunch of cool coins, like this one to my collection. This is Shakespeare's Comedies, the third and the rarest of the Shakespeare's. This is a nice quality one as well. Check the edge inscription, all the world's a stage. That's all as it should be. Move Charles Darwin along so we can get all our Shakespeare's together. So, good result. 3 Shakespeare's, nothing new for the book yet, but we've got 3 bags to go. I've just realised we haven't done an edge hunt. Oh, Christopher, we need to start doing those earlier. So, we'll do it with this one. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Ugh. If it says standing on the shoulders of giants, we know that's a technology's definitive design. Ah, turn. Something will turn up. Will be Charles Dickens again. There he is. And everything else I think is just standing on the shoulders of giants. But, as ever, let's flick through and just make sure, oops, that we don't miss anything. But no, it'd be fascinating to know if in the comments if you've ever managed to buy something from that back in stock site and actually received it, or whether it's a common theme that you don't get it. We've got the golden guinea there. Another one that's a smidge over face value. Welcome find. Ooh, can't get things around my coins. And that's it for the penultimate bag. Well then, on to the last bag. Not a bad result, it has to be said. As ever though, there are links down in the description to my coin collecting Discord server if you'd like to come and join that. There's also links to my other social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. There's the PO box address you can write into, and of course the Britannia Coin Company, who I work for, making videos for them, so please do check that channel out as well. Now I'm going to check the coins for any errors we might have missed during the hunt. Unfortunately, no additional errors. Sometimes we do pick up a rotation error or a double die obverse, which is quite exciting, but everything is all hunky-dory, including all of these commemoratives as well. So in terms of our star finds then, I think I would pick one of these three, in lieu of having something new to add to the book, which hopefully will happen sometime soon. But let me know in the comments what your favourite coin from today's video is, and all it leads me to do is thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for more coins. Bye!